talk about some corporate conversations. Embassy Office Parks reported a good set of Q2 numbers with revenue up 12%, occupancies coming in at an 8-quarter high as well. We have with us Arvind Maya, the CEO of Embassy REIT, to discuss their second quarter earnings and most importantly, the outlook going forward. Arvind, good morning. Thank you so much for joining in. Well, you have already increased your leasing guidance by 16% to 6.5 million square feet for FY25. Do you think there's a possibility you will exceed your NOI guidance and the dividend per unit guidance as well? Because you've already achieved 50% of both of them.
Good morning, Sonal. I think to start off with, been a great quarter, first half year for us, and it's all about, as I say, growth. What I mean is our portfolio has increased by almost 3 million square feet, completed portfolio in the last 12 months, and occupancy has increased by 4% to 90% by value for the first time post-COVID. And also we have a lot of development coming up and the rents are growing. So overall, very positive. And coming specifically to your question, you are right. We have already achieved 4 million square feet of lease up in the first half, and we've guided to 6.5 million. And my sense will largely be in the range what we've said, but I think in terms of distributions, most likely we'll be at the higher end of the range what we've given by the end of the year.
Okay, so you're maintaining your guidance, but you could be closer to the upper end. That's what you're saying.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay. On this leasing guidance, because you've done so well, though you're not raising it as of now, what's leading to it? Is it better pipeline? Is it new order wins?
Actually, Rima, we've increased the guidance. So we started the year at 5.6 million square feet as the guidance. And based on our first half, where we've done 4 million already, we've increased it now to 6.5 million square feet. Now that's overall, if you see the market is doing very well. In the first 9 months of this calendar year, the India market has done about 50 million square feet of absorption, gross absorption. And by the end of this calendar year, it's expected that we'll touch 70 million square feet. That's going to be the record historically for all India, because previously it was 60 million square feet pre-COVID. And a lot of this demand is coming from global captives. We've spoken about it quite extensively in the past. More and more existing companies growing, more and more new companies coming. Just to state one fact, I think today there are about 23% of Fortune 500 companies which have set up captive centers in India. That number is expected to go up to 43% by 2030. So more and more new companies coming and taking up space. That's what is leading to more demand.
Okay. Arvind, I just wanted to understand, you did 8 million square feet of leasing in FY24. Now you're saying 6.5 million square feet. Will this be the yearly trend going forward? Do you think FY24 was a peak in terms of leasing? And my colleague meant to ask if it's 4 million square feet in first half. Do you think, why do you think you'll not be able to do as good in the second half as well? You've, of course, upgraded your leasing guidance, but do you think you can do better than that in that case?
Actually, that's a good question, Sonal. It also depends on how much stock you have, right? So what's happened is last year we did 8. This year we are looking at 6.5, and at some point in time, we kind of reached the stabilized occupancy. By the end of this year, if you see, based on our own projections, we'll be at 92% occupancy by value. And historically, the stable occupancy is considered as 95%. So as you reach that number of 95, then you'll kind of peak out in terms of what supply you have. So then the next question which comes is, how do you grow, right? So in terms of existing portfolio, we have a good 8 million square feet under construction as we speak. And of that, in the next 2 years, 5 million square feet to be delivered, 71% is already pre-leased, right? So what that means is, as a management team, we now need to look at grow inorganically. We'll have to acquire more assets. That's when our team will have more stock to lease.
You've secured a 13% rent escalation on 1.4 million square feet of leasing. What about the rest? Is there scope for more rent escalations in the rest of the year?
Yeah, Rima, I think we have close to another 4 million square feet, which is due for escalation in the next 6 months. So that's more or less, I mean, we had rent escalating even during the peak of COVID. So that's a inbuilt organic growth, which is there for us. So that will continue to grow during the rest of the year and years.
Okay. So you spoke about the targeted occupancy at around 95%, right? That is by when?
So, without giving an exact precise date, Sonal, I think we are looking at reaching that stabilized occupancy probably in the next 4 to 6 quarters max.
Okay, 4 to 6 quarters that would be. So are you saying the SEZ vacancy issues, they are behind us completely? What was the vacancy number from just the SEZ portfolio this time?
The way to look at it, Sonal, now is there's no need to look at SEZ, non-SEZ, because after this new regulatory change, thanks to government, any non-SEZ space, either you could denotify a full building or even demarcate floor by floor. So effectively, we are leasing all space as if it's non-SEZ. So in the last 12 months, we have actually denotified and demarcated close to 5 million square feet of SEZ to non-SEZ. And overall put together, while the occupancy is say 90%, the non-SEZ is more like 92, 93% occupancy.
All right, Arvind, always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining in today with your take on what's happening in the industry and with Embassy REIT as well. That's the word coming in from the management, sounding very bullish, and they have increased their leasing guidance as well, and they will achieve the upper end of the guidance that they've given on their distribution per unit and NOI as well. Well, it's time.